Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What is today? November 15th? 16th? Not positive. It's not on the taskbar on the computer, so I'm not positive. Uh, Facebook sent me a thingy on my last video and says I'm the only one that's going to see it. You know, I guess maybe I got it colorful. But you know, it's strange. I guess they think they're setting a community standard or something or other, something, you know. But the thing about it is, those of the liberal thinking, those of the socialist thinking, they're not exactly following standards. Okay, their standard changes as their thinking perverts more and more. Their standard changes, and as long as it's like this. You look at the House and the Senate, they have rules on the floor that says you're not supposed to attack a sitting member or brother or sister. You're not supposed to verbally attack them, say things contrary to them, or whatever. And this and that. But see, this is the thing. If a perversion resides in a person's life, they have no standard of thinking. That standard is like a raging ocean. That standard is up and down. If they decide they want to be ugly, they'll go ugly. If they decide they want to be decent, they'll go decent. The point is they have no standard. But yet this person that has no standard has given the same balance of power and time and voice on the floor as the person that lives by a standard, that actually recognizes boundaries. You see what I'm saying? I've been telling you for a few years. They have accepted the trash. They've accepted the lies. They've accepted this, that, whatever, and they rub each other's back. They scratch each other's back. Isaiah 32, chapter 32, verse 8 says the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things he stands. Through the corruption of his heart and mind, or her heart and mind, they excuse the corruption of other people, and then those other people support them because they're given excuse. They want you to accept. Listen to me. The liberal thought pattern is for you to accept their trash, to accept their lies, to accept their manipulations, to accept their plotting, their scheming, their cheating, to accept their raping of different matters, to accept the murdering in different matters. They want you to accept their trash. Make it the norm. This is what we are. You need to accept me because I am what I am. I'm a pervert. Accept me. That's what they're saying. Accept me. Yes, I'm ugly. Yes, I'm vile. Yes, I'm dirty. Yes, I'm this. Yes, I'm that. But you're supposed to accept me. Make them the norm. Look what happened 2015, 16, campaigning and all this stuff. People recognized Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and all the friggin' poop that went on behind them. And guess what? They started calling the decent people, the honorable, just, truthful, respectful people, they started calling them deplorables. We are the accepted pervert. You are a deplorable because you won't accept us. And I was thinking about Act 2. This is what you're seeing up around the Democrat House and Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi and all those friggin' perverts up there. You're seeing Act 2 of Mueller. This is Act 2. Some of the same names are the same people that carried out Act 1 in the Mueller report in all that friggin' 22 months of lie and mess and scheme and plotting. Some of the same names are up there right now. Act 2. This is Act 2, the Mueller report. You remember, Mueller left the door open. I've talked to you about it. He left the door open. We can't find anything that's actually corrupt, but now we're not going to tell you it's not there. This is Act 2. Adam Schiff, Democratic House, Act 2. The same friggin' rot. You remember they pulled this rot off on Kavanaugh? Christine Ford, now she's being investigated. Other so-called witnesses denied what the Democratic Party and the liberals and socialists were trying to force them to push their way through. They denied. No, I don't have that information. The same thing is going on. Went on around Judge Roy Moore. Same thing's going on. The witnesses their words were falling apart. They were being ripped apart because they had no factual. All they had was people, and the people that their testimonies were falling apart. They couldn't have it. But the thing about was, see, they had Judge Roy Moore to right spot. They sowed their lies into the hearts and minds of people. Now listen. They sowed their lies into the hearts and minds of people. They created trash on Judge Roy Moore. See, they done this years ago when 4 federal judges down there kicked Roy Moore off because he wanted the 10 Commandment obelisk on his courthouse property. He wanted people to know, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not bear. You don't do that stuff. A decent man wanted decent boundaries left so he could have a decent working justice. And 4 federal judges down there ruled against him. You got to take it off or you're going to lose your bench, man. You're going to be taken out of the office. What'd they do? They took him out of the office. They didn't want decency in place. They removed him from office. They removed him from office. Trash, lies, corruption, and people of power removed him from office because as long as he had a strong moral voice in the justice in his office, they couldn't do what they wanted to do. It's the same picture all over the nation now, people. It's the same picture. As long as Donald Trump is up there trying to hold up a standard, they can't do what they want to do. The Antichrist is coming on the scene. But as long as godly, moral America is a guiding voice in the world, the Antichrist can't come on the scene. It's the same friggin' picture, people. Whether it's a little peon being affected like me, or whether it's someone big like Donald Trump, or even the Antichrist. It's the same picture. I've got a video here. I'm going to try to put it on here, and it's Nancy Pelosi talking. She said, we put out a smear campaign, and then after we get the things in place, and then they advertise it, they push it. Hopefully I can find it. I'll put it on there, and you'll realize what's going on in the Democratic Party. The party of poop. The party of poop. I'm sorry, people, if that busts your bubble, but you need to friggin' grow up. You need to grow up. You need to repent. You need to repent and get the trash out of your life, because there's something affecting your thinking. It's affecting your heart. It's affecting your spirit. It's affecting the very essence of your life. It's affecting the very character of your life. But that's all it is. It's a smear campaign. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep this poop alive in people's minds. That's all the Democrats. They don't have the proof. They don't have the facts. They don't have friggin' nothing, people. They have nothing. But they're kind of keeping it alive in your mind that when 2020 2020 comes along in November and these votes start being cast, you're going to be sitting there, oh, Donald Trump ain't so cool, man. I found out he's actually corrupt, and I can't vote for him. I'll vote for that other person Adam Schiff said I should vote for. And then, someone put this post on Facebook, and this man sitting in front of a television, it's a cartoon, sitting in front of a television, and his wife comes to bring him something, and he goes, not now, honey, not now. He said, CNN's about to tell me what I'm supposed to believe, or what I believe. CNN's telling me what I need to believe. Putting a little comrade back up here. I don't want you people thinking that I'm a one-sided thing. I mean, this is my little liberal socialist comrade here. You know, well, he's the sucker of the liberal socialist agenda. He's the sucker. He's been led to believe that he can as a snowman, he can trump the hot, warm sands of sunny Florida or the Bahamas. When knowing good and well, man, if it's not 20 degrees or lower, he can't even exist. But yet he's been led to believe. He's been led to believe he can trump the warm sands. Led to believe. Well, this fella says, no, honey, not right now. CNN is telling me what I believe. It's pitiful, people. It's literally pitiful. The things that are happening now, the things that are going on now, it's literally pitiful. Put plastic up on the windows. We've got double pane aluminum windows, but to be honest with you, they ain't much. Well, they're old. They ain't much, and we go ahead and put plastic because they don't seal right. I mean, this is probably some of the early, maybe 1980s or 70s windows that they come out. Some of the first models that come out, and it's supposed to be the warmer, climate controlling, temperature combating. They ain't much. But anyway, it's all plastic. We bought some. It's got it says clear on the bag. Got it home and it looks like a you know the way wind looks when you get real cold air outside and you get warm air, hits it all at once and it goes frost over. That's what it looks like. You can't see all of it. I have to pull the curtains back to just get some light in so I can get my camera to jive halfway right. But back to where I was. Facebook tells me my post will only be seen by me, that others can't see it. It doesn't meet their standards. Their standard leaves room for the pervert to lie, cheat, and steal. That's the problem, people. You know, I've told you before, I'm going to tell you again, 0 to 10. Right up like it, 0 to 10. Perversions or immoral thinking, they want to start their judging at 5 or 6. They want to exclude total truth, and they want to ignore the filth. They're going to start judging. Well, this person only lied 7 times last week. Oh, they're top of the line. They put them under 9. Oh, this person here lied 28 times yesterday. Well, he's a 2. No, he's a 3. They want to start in the middle of the scale and start judging. Okay? It's pitiful. You know why things are so bad in America? Why things are so bad in the world? How this nation in 8 years of the Obama administration turned this nation into a sewer, and the world began to go on nuts. Russia went into Crimea. All this rot went on over in the Middle East, and everything. And all this stuff. North Korea gets missiles, and China, and they're doing all this cheating. You know why? Because of the standard was letting it. America was put in the world to be a standard at this time. That standard during the Obama administration went from this to this. And what it done, it gave the excuses of trash that was actually here, it pulled it up to here. The standard had been lessened. The poop had been accepted. The pervert had been given legitimacy. Remember, I've told you, God spoke to me on a side porch there maybe 3 years ago. He spoke to me. I wasn't even thinking about it. Nothing, didn't have none of this stuff on my mind, and I'm sitting there wolfing down my breakfast, and I mean, just, hey, like a starving dog, man. It's enjoying my breakfast, and out of the blue, God speaks one word to me: legitimacy. They had found legitimacy right in the midst of the trash, right in the midst of the lies, right in the midst of the scheming and plotting and cheating, right in the midst of the raping and the murdering. They had found legitimacy. The rot had found legitimacy. The truth, the honor, had been downplayed. They start in the middle and try to judge. They no longer know truth. They no longer know honor. I heard Sean Hannity say something that I've said, well, I don't know, it's 4 years, 5 years. Sean Hannity said it here just, 3 months back, maybe something like that. They have lost moral compass. I'm sure there's been other people say it. I just haven't heard it. I'd said it for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know. Wow. But he was the only one that I've actually heard him say with his mouth and hear it with my ears. They have lost moral compass. I know there's others have said it. I just haven't heard them say it. But it's pitiful. It's pitiful. I admit some of my videos get colorful. I don't outright just get ugly and say the F word and the D word and everything else like it's nothing. I try not to do that. I've called the liberals and these liberal socialist politicians. I've called them political bastards because they are. Some of them are, man. They just are. They're political bastards. But see, this is a thing. They do it by choice. They do it by choice. They walked off from the godly moral standards that our Constitution and our laws had been established by. They walk off and they leave it, and then they go over and wading in the poop, the sewer of liberal socialist thinking. Then they want to bring that stench and that rot that's all over their feet, bring it right up into the halls of Congress and into the courtrooms and in the CNN studios and NBCs and ABCs and West Virginia's Charleston Gazette. They will bring that friggin' stench that's all over them right up into where they work. They do it by choice. A little boy or a little girl, baby, is born sometimes. We call them illegitimate. They're not married or whatever. But that baby can't help what it is. It can't help what it is. It can't help its life begin in a place it shouldn't have started. It can't help that. It's tagged with an ugly name, but it's not its fault. It can't help it. But these politicians can help it. They can. They're political bastards by choice. By choice. Not by fault. Forced upon them by others. But by choice. By choice. And it's that way with anybody that willfully accepts the trash and pushes it. They're by choice. That kind of person. But, you know, the thing about it is, you know, these people have found legitimacy. They found acceptance, even though they lie, even though they cheat, even though they steal, even though they manipulate. They have found acceptance. They're saying right now that, you know, I mean, this is outright crime, just outright crime. Something there, definitely there. We found out that John Kerry and is it Adam Schiff and Joe Biden? Well, Adam Schiff has been connected with a gun runner or a gun arms dealer in the Ukraine or whatever. I've seen a post on that. But they say right now that documents have been found that Kerry and Biden and somebody else, maybe Hunter Biden too, that these people have gotten tens of millions of dollars from the Ukraine in the past. And then you got this sideshow joke, Adam Schiff putting up his front up there. Well, Donald Trump, he's blackmailed, or he's been bribed by the Ukraine, or he bribed them to Donald Trump's not the problem. This trash went on before Donald Trump even got in office. They're trying to obstruct justice, people. The very same thing they blamed on Trump back during the presidency when the Mueller thing got going. Oh, he's obstructing justice. That's what they're doing. That's what they've done ever since they've been there. The players around the so-called Trump justice obstruction, the players that the Democratic Party had in place, these players switched offices during the Obama administration and others. They switched offices. Comey he'd be over this agency, and Mueller would be over this one. And a year or two, Mueller would be over this one, and Comey would be over another one. And they switched offices. But you gotta look what happened. Once they sat in that office, they get retirement from that office. You say Mueller sat over the head of 3 different agencies. When he retires, he'll draw retirements from 3 of those agencies. His retirement changes as he grabs another office. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And they do it on the local level too. You know, someone around here, they'll be maybe they might be a sheriff. I don't know these people. Basically, I know who some of them are. When I see them, I know who they are. I don't know what their positions, a lot of them and stuff, but they may be a sheriff for 4, 5, 6, 8 years, and then they'll turn around and they'll be on the city council, and they just keep changing positions, and I'm thinking they're probably going to get retirement, something off of that position, But as far as if you can get by with it, it makes sense. You're building a kitty. But this is the thing. The Obama administration had organized these agencies to work against the Constitution, to work against the laws of this nation, to work against freedom and liberty, to work against the very patriots. You remember he put fences around the war memorials and things in Washington, D.C. and tried to get people to stop, go up there, and Sarah Palin went there, and as she started out, man, they started pulling the fences down to where they could get to their war memorials. Obama didn't want that stuff. He wanted it stopped. He wanted patriotism stopped. He wanted the thoughts of freedom and liberty crushed. He sowed hatred into the black community, man. Got in there, Michael, what's his name? The one that the cop had shot and killed, but he asked for it. He asked for it. But he sowed hatred, and he used Jesse Jackson and CNN and MSNBC and Al Sharpton and NBC and MSNBC, and he used the Washington Times or the New York Times, the Washington Post, and he used Hollywood, and he used and he sowed it, and they went to writing down there in Ferguson, Missouri. They were played for suckers. They were played for suckers. He sowed hatred, people. He sowed hatred. Oh, they don't like me because I was black. Oh, they don't like me because I was black. And all the time he was doing this stuff, what he was doing, he was sowing hatred. Shoving hatred into people's hearts and minds. Shoving division into their hearts and minds. He was sowing the very rot that lived within him into them. And he pulled it off. He pulled it off royally. On some people, they got so full of hatred, they began killing the very people that was trying to protect their lives and keep them on their feet. They started shooting police. They lost respect for the officer that was trying to help them. They'd been pissed on in their hearts and their minds, and they started doing that ugly thing. He sowed hatred. He sowed hatred. But this rot that's going on, some of the same names, people. See, this investigation, Adam Schiff's little show thing going on up there right now. Names that are being investigated now by Durham and Barr. Halchowitz done an investigation. He was told to do, remember Jeff Sessions put Halchowitz over an investigation, said you need to investigate this and find out if there's something there. But guess what happened? Halchowitz done an investigation. He turns it in, and he looks into it. He turns it in. There's definite signs of criminal activity. It needs to be looked into. But see, this is the thing. See, that didn't happen until Trump got into office. All that stuff was laying back there in the background. Wasn't nothing there. Your Elijah Cummings, there ain't nothing here. Let's move on. There ain't nothing here. Let's move on. All of it was pushed under the carpet, man. Shoveled up under the rug. If Hillary Clinton had gotten in office, none of this stuff would have been working today. The whole thing would have been covered up. Gone. History. You'd be about 3 steps closer to a socialist nation. Nothing here. Let's move on. I look at Elijah Cummings and from what I've seen of him, I'm glad he's out of the government, man. Sorry, glad he's out of the government. They wanted to cover all this trash up. And another one up there, what's his name? A black guy. There's a bunch of white guys and women and everything up there, but another black guy up there. He's as liberal and as corrupt in his thinking as any. What's his name? Shoot, I don't know. I'd know him if I seen him, but whatever. He's just he's no holding back, man. He's got trash on his lips. Impeach Trump, irregardless, they don't care if it crushes the nation. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. People, they're afraid. They're afraid. The Durham That's doing this investigation back in the background about the FISA abuse and all this stuff that took place right there. He's collecting names, people. He's collecting names. Remember, it was switched from an inquiry. It was switched from an inquiry, and now it's an investigation, a criminal investigation. He's collecting names. And see, I just heard about this Kerry and Biden deal that went down where they'd gotten tens of millions of dollars from the Ukraine. I just picked up on this here the last week or two myself. Documents showing they had gotten tens of millions of dollars from the Ukraine. They're collecting names, people. The names are coming out. This shift show that's taking place, it's a farce. They know it. Everybody knows it. But because you keep kissing, they stay alive. If you would just quit kissing, this thing would die out. And the people that have promoted this, justice be served, they will be put behind bars. I actually hate going in here and doing the same friggin' junk. I do. People, you realize this has gone on for 3 years now? This Mueller Act, this Mueller investigation, Stage 2, Act 2 has gone on for 3 years. Do you realize that? It's gone on for 3 years. Donald Trump, he got inaugurated less than 2 weeks, or less than 48 hours. During his inauguration, less than 48 hours after his inauguration, you had these Democrats screaming, "We're going to impeach him! All right, go ahead, get rid of him! Impeach him!" They had no grounds, they had nothing. The Mueller investigation ended. A bunch of Democrats, high official Democrats, they fly to Cuba during, February, April. They fly to Cuba after the Mueller thing was bellied up and they couldn't do anything with it. They fly to Cuba down out of peering eyes and listening ears down there where people couldn't hear them. They fly to Cuba. And you know what they was doing? You couldn't see them. You couldn't hear them. You know what they were doing? They were planning Act 2. They were planning Act 2. Okay, let me change it. David, Old Testament Bible, said the wicked plot behind closed doors to capture my soul. They were plotting Act 2. They were plotting Act 2. See, this is the thing, people. As long as you have your big tech companies, as long as you have your liberal socialist newscasters and broadcasters and reporters, as long as you have these not whistleblowers but leakers in the government, as long as you have this and that all over the place, as long as those people are in place, this plot stays alive. This lying, liberal, scheming, plotting pile of poop stays alive. Because they keep the hearts and the minds of people contaminated and perverted. It stays alive. I'll be honest with you. I'm just going to shoot straight, man, straight from the shoulder. If I was you, I'd turn NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, PBS, New York Times, Washington Post, West Virginia's Charleston Gazette, I'd turn them off. If you had a subscription to them, close it out. I'd turn them off. I'd just turn them off. Because the rock continues. The rock continues because it's accepted. It's accepted, people. It's accepted. The rock continues because it is accepted. I can hear the wife's music. She turns the sound on, and she gets in there and she wants to get in and start decorating and stuff. And she's got this thing about Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff going, and I love it. I do. I really do. She's a precious woman. But I hear the music and they're playing. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I can. But I know she's in there. She's pumping up the spirit, man. Getting ready. Trying to just pull herself into the place to where she's going to be able to just put her time and her effort and her energy into seeing that her family rejoices in Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like Donald Trump says, hey, we say Merry Christmas. I've already started. We went up to Pineville yesterday and went into assessor's office and into the tax office up there, and before we left, said we may not see you, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, have a happy Thanksgiving, man. Get it started, get it going, hey, pump it up. Shoot, son, I'd like to be a 64-year-old kid. When it comes to Christmas, I'd like to be a 64-year-old kid, son. I really would. But today, I realize and know more in my heart why we have these days in America, why these days are so special, in particular to patriotic, God-loving, God-fearing, honorable-seeking Americans. Because Christ was born. Christ was born. Don't have to wait on him. He's already been here. He done what he accomplished. His 33 and a half years, last 3.5 years of his time, he spent it in ministry doing what he knew God had appointed him to do. Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Not my will, but hey, what you got going is what I want to do. He accomplished what he was appointed for him to accomplish. What God testified it. People heard the voice of God. What did he say? This is my son, in whom I am well pleased. It's awesome. Oh, I'm a little liberal sucker just fell off. My little socialist sucker. But I bumped him with my back of my chair, I guess. But I'm just kicked back in my old computer chair. I might need to get me one, because this thing is, with the little old lever that lets it pump up. It's stuck. It won't pump up now. It just bottomed out in the back of it. Don't want to stay up half the time. But I'd like to be a 64-year-old kid and have the spirit of Christmas in my life. Know why when I eat that turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Know why I'm thankful. Christmas rolls around and I look at that Christmas tree and those gifts and everything going on there, and I look at that and I say, this is nice. But there was one gift that was extra special. Extra special. I mean, this gift is so awesome. So awesome. Jesus Christ was born. You look at Mary, the Virgin Mary, and you think, You ain't gonna have a baby without having a man in you. But you know something? Mary did. But not only Mary did, it was also prophesied that a woman, a virgin, would give birth unto a child that would not lay with a man. It's prophesied. Hey, Genesis, go all the way back to Genesis. It talks about how the head of the serpent would bruise the heel the man, and how the heel of the man would bruise the head of the serpent. It was talking about somebody different. I mean, and then the prophecies come down through there, and a virgin would give birth, and it happened, man. It happened. In the neighborhood of 2,000 years ago, it happened, and it makes him an extra special gift. And we celebrate it on the 25th of December. Other people celebrate it and whatever else. I don't know all their customs and ideas and their thinking. Some of them don't want to celebrate it. I'm sorry, but they'll go on the old dawdry life of having to pop a pill or suck on a beer bottle or a liquor bottle, or they'll go and do this and we're going to sit down and watch Ozzie and Harriet or something, some of the, just on this same old plain avenue. I mean, we got a Roku in there, and they signed when we had dish TV in our house. It was time to sit there with that remote, click, 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 click. Just on and on and on. Looking for something to satisfy. No, looking for something to satisfy this same old dawdry life, and I do that remote, that old Roku remote right now. But I know Christmas is coming. I know Thanksgiving's coming. I want to be a 64-year-old kid, man. I really do. Have a good one.